Mike Damergis here with Stephen Venditti, class of '95, and the New York Giants assistant video director. So welcome back to Iona, Steve. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me, man. It's been great to come back here. Really has.
Now, as you were walking up the steps to the third floor, do you remember how hard it was to walk up these flights? And the elevator probably still doesn't work since you were last
I
year.
didn't even try to take the elevator. I walked up, and I actually went to the second floor, thinking it was the third floor. That's how long ago it's been.
And the last time you were here, we had the diner, and now the diner's been replaced by the dorm.
Yes, yeah, the diner, Canoni's was there. The dorm was relatively new. It was only a couple years old. Freshman year, I dormed at Rice, which was old men, old boys, whatever you want to call it. Mm-hmm. That was as big as, that big, I think, right? So, but it's come a long way. This campus looks phenomenal, the years since I've been here last, so it's great. And you're doing a great job in here.
And one staple that's gone as well is Canoni's Pizza, which the younger students don't know about Canoni's Pizza, which was great for late night, after late night.
Yeah, late night dining.
Yes, exactly, dining. Well, let's get right to it. Talk about your experience here at Iona when you left in '95, and what was your really road to where you are with the New York Giants?
So, 1994 was my senior year, fall of '94, and I did an internship with the Giants in their video department. Even though to do an internship in coaching video was weird because you don't really have experience. Because you're learning this, right? You're learning studio and all this other stuff. So to do an internship in coaching video was kind of like a new aspect, right? But I did that for the season. Went on a couple of road trips. I was all excited. And then graduated in '95, and the Giants then hired me, not full-time, just freelance, to work on their TV shows. They had a couple of in-house TV shows that aired on MSG, I think, at the time. And they hired me as a production assistant, basically the entry-level job, and I did whatever I was told to do. There was a couple of producers, some executives, lighting, and audio. So whatever was going on, I wanted to know, how to light, how to do audio. If we're doing a remote, where we're going to go with the cameras, how everything's going to be lit, all that stuff. I was just the gopher boy, but yet trying to learn.
Talk about the skills you need to succeed. It's a little bit different with the internet, and things are a lot quicker than when I was in school, when you came into school.
Yeah.
So, talk about the skills that are needed that you see for kids coming out of college today, and also really the involvement that students have to take outside of the classroom to be involved in athletics and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's funny. I think, theory, learning this field in a textbook is one thing, but actually the hands-on thing I think is so huge, because you can't network in a textbook, right? You have to network in here, right? You have to network when you're working in a studio and you're talking to all the other, everyone else. So I think the skills you need, definitely you need to be tech savvy. You have to be tech savvy, because that's everything is technical nowadays. And I'm 43, just turned 44. I'm 44, and I got to keep up with it. So we hired a guy a couple years ago out of college, and he's tech savvy. But you have to be one step ahead of a lot of people, right? But I think the main thing is coming into a work environment is not to be confident, but to be what's the word? Just to do whatever someone wants you to do. Nothing's too big.
Willing. And
willing.
Don't say I can't.
Yeah, right.
Figure it out.
Figure it out.
If you have a task,
right,
figure it out. And
I'll figure
Google,
it out.
So there's other ways to do it.
I mean, I still do that nowadays. Because I'm basically working for the coaches. I'm basically whatever they need, I got to do, right? So, you got to see some of the tasks I get. Got to find clips on YouTube, and got to find this, and got to find some weird theme that they're going for this week, and how am I going to find that? So anyway, 10 years ago, you'd be buying movies at Best Buy to try to find clips. Now you just go on YouTube and kind of everything's there for you. Rip it and go, right? So, but you still have to be willing to do whatever it takes. And nothing's ever too big. Nothing's ever too. I'm too. I went to this school. I went to that school. I don't want to do this work. Then then it's not for you. Then the field's not for you. You got to start from the bottom and work your way up, and then do whatever you want. The stuff I was doing my first few years really wasn't a lot. It wasn't even a lot of this. It was go out and get some random stuff for a shoot, you know. And I felt, hey, I'm a part of it, you know. I didn't care. I feel like I'm a part of this, part of whatever shoot we're doing, you know. I don't care if I have to go out and get whatever the ancillary stuff is. I'll do it. Doesn't matter to me. So I took that approach, and I just kind of kept moving with it, you know.
And what skills do you recommend the students really work on? Writing, editing, stuff like that, being aware of the latest software, following what's going on in the industry too, if they want to go to sports, entertainment, news, keeping abreast of all the latest news as well.
Yeah. I think writing, definitely, and editing is. I think inside of editing, I think most people now, you know, I think it's huge to know Photoshop, right? And because you can't just, you can edit a piece, you know, linear down the line, a 2-minute piece, and then, you know, everyone always wants some kind of Photoshop, After Effects in there. So to know that is huge, you know. Then,
so give an example of an assignment you might be asked to do with Photoshop in a video. Give an example, what like a daily task might be.
All right, so just on my end, on the coaching video side of it, they want to we maybe cut a little video, some kind of highlight or something, but you know they want to either superimpose something over someone else's head, you know, could be funny like that, you know, where it's a picture of something and then we kind of superimpose that, or just kind of like, you know, I remember last year when McAdoo got hired, he had a theme, evolution, not revolution, or whatever it was. So he wanted, you know, the evolution of basically our quarterbacks from Charlie Connolly in the 50s to Eli Manning now. So that's a Photoshop project, you know. So, so that was task that you needed to know that because he wanted it done. How are you going to? You weren't going to go out of house and pay $10,000 at some post-production company. You have to figure, you know. So it's things like that, and then once you can do that, then you can do it, you know, twice a week, 3 times a week, every day if needed. So then what happens is they're comfortable going to you again. Comfortable with, oh, he knows what he's doing. So let me, you know, have more tasks for him, you know. So and just you know, you gotta, you know. So I think that's one thing, you know. And then it's like I said, Photoshop and was such a huge, I think such a huge thing to learn because it doesn't take a lot of time, you know, and it can transition and make something look, you know, spectacular.
Well, you've been with the Giants since the mid-'90s. They've been to 3 Super Bowls since then. They lost in 2000 to the Ravens, and of course, 2 incredible Super Bowl wins over the Patriots. No hurtful feelings to any Patriot fans here. You get to travel with the team.
Yep.
Talk about that experience going to 3 Super Bowls and actually winning 2 historic Super Bowls.
Yeah, so the Super Bowl in 2007, I was working on the TV side of it. So I was editing our TV shows and shooting camera, you know, so I'd shoot every game home and away, handheld camera.
And you certainly felt a little bit more pressure working a Super Bowl as opposed to just a regular season game.
Yeah, so that, you know, it's amazing because you're not playing, but you have a knot in your stomach, you know, while you're working, you know, and as the fourth quarter is going with David Tyree and all that other stuff, like I don't even know how I continued to do what I was doing, right? And I look back on it, I'm like, I got everything. I covered everything, you know? And that was the most amazing experience, was to be part of that. You know, at the end, locker room, you know, and then back in the hotel, there's an all-night party basically in the hotel, and you just, wow, this is incredible. You know, then 2 days later on Tuesday, we were going through the Canyon of Heroes, you know, on a float. I'm like, geez, this is the most amazing thing you can ever imagine. Why I'm part of this, you know. And then in 2011, I was part of the coaching video. So it was a little different because you feel that you're more hands-on because now you're working toward something with them, right? So I work a lot of the stuff I do is focused on defense. So a lot of defensive coaches, the defense coordinator, Steve Spagnuolo, is really reliant on the stuff I do, you know, whatever it is. And so anyway, you're a part, you know, then in 2011, I was like, wow, I'm really a part of this, you know, because you're involved in it. You know, you're seeing this, you're putting together videos and edits and stuff for them to watch that the players are watching, that they're coaching off of, right? And then that they're studying. So
And you must feel some added pressure for something like that, because being on the entertainment side is one thing.
Yes.
Being involved in something there where you're actually having an impact on the game
Yeah.
with a defensive coordinator
Yep.
is a little. There must be some sleepless nights with
Yeah,
that.
it's the pressure's good. It's because it's a constant hustle is what it is. It's just a constant, getting things done from 7 o'clock in the morning till 5 o'clock. With the exception of like a 3-hour practice in there. But you're just you have something to do and working towards something, and so it's. What was I going to say about 2011? And I was going to tell you something about that. But the sleepless nights. No, it's just you want to come up with something that you can. He may give you an idea, and then you want to come up with something kind of creative that you can.
So what do you get a text or 12 o'clock at night? You might get a text 1 o'clock in the morning.
Emails.
Hey, can you get me this?
Emails.
Or
He'll email
kind of like the med genius kind of thing going on.
Yeah, and he'll do it because he'll forget. So he'll just email me midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. I'll just get a list of them, and then it'll be updated as it's going on. So when I come in, first thing I do. It's fun though. It's a lot of fun because at the end of the day, he's appreciative of it. And the players are, because the players are in tune to what he's presenting to them, and that what you're presenting to him, what you're presenting to Spagnuolo is he's presenting back to the defense, so that you're a part of it, and that goes on down the list of these assistant coaches. They'll ask for stuff, and that's all kind of the fun part. And then there's the mundane, boring. Can you make me a cut up of blah blah blah? Can you research? There was a task I was doing all year long that Spags wanted me to do that for Landon Collins, the safety, he wanted the team that we were playing, every play action, a good kind of play action, that so Landon doesn't bite, on the play action. So I went. So there's weekly tasks, and that's one of the many things that I would do during the week. I would have a list of things. Okay, I have to do this. And there are players that would want specific edits to put on their iPad that they can watch, and that's it. But it all leads to Sunday, right? So Saturday night you're in a hotel, whether it's on the road or home. You both stay in a hotel, and that's when everything's kind of shown, right? So that's when the final pieces are put together. And if you're on the road, that's when it gets hairy because, I download everything on a computer, for the defense, say, and everything's on a laptop. And if I miss anything, there's no turn back because now we're in Minnesota or we're in Phoenix, So if you don't have it, now you failed, right? So you can't, and you have to have it covered. You have to have a backup for the backup. You know what I mean? And there's it can't fail.
Okay, talking about failure, a couple of years ago, Tom Coughlin was the coach for over a decade. Did you ever have to tell him something? Hey, coach, I don't have this.
Have I ever? No, because I think he was understandable because I think he didn't get technology, so he could understand. He wouldn't understand it, but he'd deal with it.
He knew,
you know what I mean?
And he knew what he wanted.
Yeah,
and
he was still working off tape. We stopped doing tapes, and he was still wanted to put a tape in a deck and do that. So
hey, get that VHS.
A couple of
right?
years after we all went, digital, he still wanted a tape. So we had to wean him off of that, And McAdoo, on the other hand, is so hip to technology. He does awesome PowerPoints, McAdoo. So as well as a PowerPoint as any of us can do, So he's more in tune to technology. I presented something to him the other day. This it's going to sound boring to you, but on our iPad, the app we use to have the video on the iPad, we can do this testing, So I sat for a few days and I figured out how to make the test, how to make it look, and how to add video to it and how to add a PDF to it, And I said, Coach, I think this is great. I showed Spags, I showed the coach. I said, we can test our players, doesn't it could do a weekly thing, you know, and great. And McAdoo's like, I want to use it. I want to see if I can make a test. I'm like, it's going to be a pain in the neck. It's not going to be, you know, you don't have to do it. You know, give it to me, and then I can give it to the other assistant coaches, you know, the lower level assistants. So I could teach them how to do it, and then we're going to do it. I want to learn, you know. So he wants to learn, you know, and so I got to still have to teach him. But anyhow, but he's the kind of guy that I want to. If I can do it, then I expect my assistant coaches can do it, you know. So that's how he is.
Okay, everybody, let's give Steve a big hand for joining us today. I'm Mike Damergis. He's Steve Venditti from the class of '95, the New York Giants.